Welcome, Clear Speak, Academy, Channel, Story, The Compass of Ashara. In the forgotten land of Ashara, where time moved like mist and the sun often hesitated to rise, there lived a girl named Elias. With windswept hair the color of wildfire and eyes that mirrored stormy skies, she was unlike anyone in her quiet village of Darwin Hollow. Her mother had vanished when she was 5, and her father, a cartographer of old maps, spent his days tracing maps to places that no longer existed. But one evening, Elias found a strange item tucked between the pages of her father's journal, a compass unlike any she'd seen. It didn't point north. In fact, it spun wildly until her fingers brushed it, and then it stilled, quivering toward the east. When she showed it to her father, his face turned ashen. This belonged to your mother. That was the beginning. The next morning, Elias awoke to find her father gone, vanished, with no footprints, no clues, and only a torn page from his journal left on the table. 4 words had been scribbled on it: follow the compass. Remember. Determined to find him, and perhaps the truth of her mother's disappearance, Elias packed supplies and set off. The compass led her through forests that whispered names in languages she couldn't understand, across rivers that shimmered silver even under moonlight, and into the realm of the dustwalkers, nomads who believed every soul was written in the sand. It was there she met Kale, a boy with a crooked smile and a shadow too large for his body. He claimed to be cursed. And perhaps he was, for wherever he stepped, the wind howled louder, and the stars blinked with unease. You're looking for someone, Kale said. So am I. Though wary, Elias accepted his company. Together they journeyed toward the Pale Mountains, where the compass pulsed with growing urgency. On their way, they encountered Saren, a desert thief with a heart locked behind sarcasm and scars. And a young scholar named Thalos, exiled from the academy for knowing too much about the wrong kinds of magic. Each joined her quest, not because of gold or glory, but because they too had lost something. Or someone. The deeper they went, the more the land changed. The stars above no longer matched their maps. The trees grew eyes. Voices echoed in places where no mouth had spoken. And one night, as they crossed the fields of unmaking, Elias dreamed of her mother for the first time in years. You must not open the compass, the dream mother warned. Not until the right moment. Or Ashara will unravel. When Elias woke, the compass was glowing. Thalos was the first to notice what none of them wanted to admit. The compass wasn't leading them somewhere. It was leading them to someone. At the edge of the known world stood a broken city called Velmyra, once the crown of Ashara. Now, it lay buried under vines and moonlight. No footsteps had disturbed its streets in centuries. The compass led them to a gate made of bone and whispers. Beyond it, in the heart of the city, lay a throne, but no king. Instead, they found her father. Or what was left of him. He was bound in silver chains, his mind drifting through illusions, muttering about the Watcher, the spiral door, and the tethered realms. Then the shadows attacked. They weren't beasts. They weren't men. They were fragments, echoes of broken magic. They fed on memory. Kale's curse flared. Saren drew blades she'd hidden for years. Thalos summoned fire from the air. And Elias opened the compass. Light burst from it, searing the shadows into dust. But something ancient stirred, something older than Ashara, something watching. The compass wasn't just a guide. It was a lock. And now it was undone. Fleeing the city, the companions took refuge in the ruins of an ancient temple once devoted to the keepers of the compass. There, they discovered a map engraved in the stone floor, a map of all Ashara. But the land was different. Wounds ran through it, tears in reality, marked by shimmering spirals. The temple keeper, a creature part human, part bird, revealed the truth. Long ago, Elias's mother had sealed away an entity known only as the Morning Star, a being of forgotten power that had once threatened to consume Ashara in sorrow and silence. The compass was the key to that seal. And Elias had broken it. Her father had gone searching for her mother, only to fall into the same trap. You must finish what she started, said the keeper. You must find the spiral door and bind the Morning Star again. But how? Elias asked. By choosing love over loss. Unity over vengeance. Light over truth. They didn't understand then, but they followed the map. Each trial was harder than the last. Kale faced his curse. It wasn't magic, but guilt. He had caused a fire that claimed his village. But Elias helped him forgive himself. Saren faced her past, a sister betrayed for a handful of gold. But she chose to make amends. Thalos, tempted by dark knowledge, burned the last page of a forbidden tome to save a child. And Elias faced her mother. Not a memory, Not a dream, but the real woman, half consumed by the morning star's essence, guarding the final seal. I had to become part of it, her mother said. So it could not rise. But now it will, Alira whispered. Only if you choose wrongly. The spiral door stood open behind them. To seal it forever, someone had to stay behind. Alira looked at her friends. At her mother. At the compass, which now pointed nowhere. And she made her choice. Alira stepped through the spiral door. And the world changed. The compass vanished. The sky turned blue over Ashara again. The stars returned to their rightful places. Kale became a healer, his hands no longer cursed but gifted. Saren opened a sanctuary for lost children. Thalos rebuilt the academy, this time with no forbidden knowledge, only open doors. And in the windswept hills where Darwin Hollow once stood, a new village rose, named Alira's Watch. They say that on some nights, when the mist parts and the wind sings, a figure can be seen walking among the stars, guiding lost travelers with a glowing light. A girl with stormy eyes. And a compass that no longer needs to point. Thanks for watching.